Nzama Madzenga, thank you very much for joining us. Nisungula ingwina. Yena vanhu vantima loko ivulavula hi Nkosi, you find that it just doesn't start with people on the day of the funeral. From the minute someone is announced to have passed, there's already traffic in the house. Is it a cultural thing that we see this massive movement of people when we bury loved ones?
Yeah, good afternoon, and good afternoon to the viewers. I think a lot of things are going to change, as you have alluded to from what the minister has said previously. Yes, indeed, we are used to doing burials as family and also extended family members, but with a new law that says that only 100 people are allowed to be part of the burial. But what's more important is that is it going to be the same after the lockdown? But I think that because of how things have been moving so far, there will be a shift from what we used to. For instance, I'll give you an example. There was an imported burial this past weekend at Tzaneen, where one of Batsonga kings died, and fewer people attended the funeral, and that means that it shows that there is a sort of a shift to what we are used to.
There is a shift to what we are used to. Let me introduce into the conversation Mbuso, Khoza. You oftentimes hear people say that, you have to attend people's funerals so that when it's your turn, somebody also comes to you. Siyahambelana as abantu. But is it time for us to maybe rethink that, especially with what we are going through now?
Hello?
Mr. Khoza, if you can hear me, just give me a shout.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great.
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the question really is that as people, siyahambelana, you have to go to somebody's funeral. You don't even need an invite to go to a funeral. But is that fair to say, especially under these times? Is it time to rethink the way we bury our loved ones?
It's part of our culture, being there for one another. However, these are trying times for Africa and the whole world. I think we need to rethink, in how our cultures are practiced, and looking at the challenges, in the modern day. One of the things that we may need to take note of is that culture is a manifestation of, intellectual, of human intellectual. Therefore, it means it's bound to keep on changing over time as part of evolution. So I think we need to rethink and reimagine on how to practice our culture, or how to find a space for our culture in the modern day with this challenge that we are facing at the moment.
Mr. Madzenga, Mr. Khoza says, culture is bound to change. We are people, we're constantly evolving. What do you say to somebody that says, well, it's un-African not to go to a funeral, even if it's not somebody that you know or somebody that is your loved one?
Yeah, it might be an African, as some people will allude to, but the thing is that at these trying times, there is nothing that we can do. It's not a South African thing, it's not an African thing, it's a global thing that we need to change how we do things. For instance, I was also having a discussion with one of my professors to say, I think it's high time we either use the likes of Skype or be it is Microsoft Teams to do burials going forward, because even though the lockdown ends, there will be still uncertainty from people when it comes to meeting up, more especially in places where there's huge crowd. Because as of now, if you look at how things are happening, even walking to the shop is still a bit uncomfortable. And even though we move out of lockdown, I guarantee you, there will be issues, and also we're not going to have the same comfort as we used to before lockdown. So basically, the Ubuntu thing of going to bury people, you will think twice before you go to such burials, because of not wanting to put yourself in danger and also other people that will be in the funeral or the people that you might have left at home.
A big thank you to both my guests. Unfortunately, we have lost Mbuso Khoza. He's an African historian as well as a musician, and we're also joined by Mr. Nzama Madzenga. Thank you very much.